Hey, welcome to the Event Answer Studio. Today I want to show you how to put together this organic balloon column, sometimes called a freestanding balloon garland. Everything I'm using to make this column is listed in the description box below. For the main body of this column, I'm going to be inflating 26 11-inch balloons and 6 16-inch balloons. I'll be inflating those two at a time, making sure I always put the larger balloon on the trigger side of my balloon inflator. So I'm going to go ahead and inflate my 11-inch balloons until they're about 8 to 10 inches in diameter, and that 16-inch balloon is almost completely full. I'm then going to tie it together in a pair by wrapping the nozzles around twice and tying them together in a knot. I'm then going to take all these pairs and twist them together into quads. So I'm going to take two pairs and overlap them so that the nozzles touch, and then twist one balloon from each pair around each other, locking them together into quads. So half of my quads will have a 16-inch balloon in them, and half of them will be all 11-inch balloons. To give our column even more volume, I've inflated 24 11-inch balloons anywhere between 5 and 7 inches in diameter and tied them together into pairs. Now I'm going to tie two pairs together with a 260 balloon that I've cut in half, and on each end of that 260 balloon, I'm going to tie it to the nozzles of each of my pairs with just a simple knot. The 260 between these 11-inch balloons will make it super easy to add these on top of our balloon column later on, and allowing us to really fill out and make our column much more interesting to look at. Once I've made all 6 of those, I'm then going to inflate 32 5 or 7-inch balloons to accent our balloon column. So I'm going to inflate my 5-inch balloons to 4 pumps of air. I'm going to hold the first balloon under my finger around my pump so I can inflate a second balloon at the same time before tying them into pairs. Now my 7-inch balloons, because the chromes only come in this size, I'm going to inflate it to 10 pumps of air and tie these together into pairs. Just like we did with the bigger balloons, wrap them around twice and tie them together in a simple knot. I'm then going to take all these small pairs and tie them together into quads that will then accent our column later on. To assemble this pillar, we need a stand to build it off of, so I'm using this 5-foot tall balloon stand that I retrofitted from an IKEA lamp. And I chose this approach because the IKEA lamp has a weighted base and the pole is modular, so I can make it as tall or short as I need. If you'd like to learn how to retrofit a lamp as well, I'll have the tutorial linked above. On the top of my pole, there's a little bit of open threading, so I'm going to cover that with an empty 11-inch balloon. I'm just going to stretch the nozzle right over the end and pull it down over the top. This will protect my balloons from potentially getting cut on the metal, and it'll also give me better grip for those top balloon quads to stay on top of the pole. So now at the base of my balloon stand, I'm going to add my first quad. And the first quad I actually used 2 16-inch balloons in it, so my base is really wide. Now I'm going to take all of my quads and slide them right over the pole so that the pole is touching the nozzles right in the center. And then you're going to take the 2 balloons with the pole in between them and twist them around each other, and this will lock the quad to our base stand, and we don't have to worry about these popping off. On top of this, we're going to grab our next quad, which also has a 16-inch balloon in it, and attach it in the same way we did the first one. With this quad and every quad afterwards, we want to make sure we snug it down nice and tight against the previous quad, and that one balloon in this quad is sitting in between 2 balloons below it. Now from here, I'm going to alternate adding quads that are all 11-inch and quads that have a 16-inch balloon in them. And as I continue to add these quads, I want to pay special attention to the placement of the colors and the sizes of the balloons, so that the overall look of the column is nice and balanced. This is especially true of where you place the 16-inch balloons, and because this column will be viewed from all angles, I want to make sure I've got those 16-inch balloons all the way around my column. Now for the last quad on the very top, I find that it's helpful to keep my hand at the very end of the pole as I twist the final quad around each other, and that keeps it from popping off the top as I'm trying to secure it to the pole. With the base layer of our balloons attached to the stand, we can now focus on filling out anywhere we feel like we need some more color and interest by adding in those smaller 11-inch balloon quads. And to do this, you're going to stretch the 260 that's between the 2 pairs behind 1 or 2 balloons that are already attached to the stand so that 260 is hidden from sight. Then you can just play around with the placement of those pairs on either end, rotating them around until you're happy with their overall appearance and placement. And this is a great time to place some balloons, take a step back, look at the overall column, and then place more balloons. Because this is a design that will be viewed from lots lots of different angles, we want to make sure every side looks amazing. Now once all those 11-inch balloons are placed, we're then going to take our tiny quads and attach them using rubber bands. So take a rubber band and stretch it over one of the balloons in that little quad, and then you're going to take that rubber band and stretch it over one of the balloons on the column right next to where you want to place this little cluster. The important thing when placing these little clusters is to make sure that rubber band gets stretched all the way around the balloon and ends up touching the nozzle of the 11-inch balloon so it's hidden from sight. Then you can just rotate around those tiny balloons until you're happy with their placement, making sure we mix up the colors and the sizes for an interesting look. Once you've got all of the accent balloons added in, it's time to add our final balloon, which is a 36-inch white balloon I'm going to add on top. Now because this balloon is so large, I decided to inflate this one on site instead of assembling it ahead of time and trying to fit it inside my car. Once it's fully inflated, I'm going to tie it off with an empty 260 by stretching that 260 nice and tight, wrapping it around a couple times, and tying it in a double knot. This does two things for us. We're less likely to get a friction tear while tying a knot in the nozzle of the 36-inch balloon, and the tails of this 260 will allow us to tie the 36-inch balloon into our garland. By stretching that 260 nice and tight and wrapping it around a couple of the balloons in the base, we can secure our large balloon right on top and not have to worry about it coming loose. And now our balloon column is ready for its event. And this is just the start. You could easily make this column taller or shorter, narrower or wider, depending on the look you're going for. If you enjoyed today's video, you should check out this one next. And until the next project, remember, stay creative, everybody. Bye!